Most prayers, when you end and conclude your prayer, you always say the word Hojonahastli, 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 to repeat 4 times. Dan hittin tienodi the netje lego. Had teen van Londen dan hit nego e ja hikat. Tango in dan his nest ha. Had teen had nigi hanne. Dat het door you bedat it. Alo ostot ikat diepe hoort diepe akonossen. Dan hit het nego dat het had teen at ja ben dan his nest ha. Akot dat scho ja die Hassan lenigi. Begatel ja had teen. Dat een not even aan hollen. Hot dan his nest ha. Is niet uit de dast aan de goshi being dat we net all day. In the teachings of our people, it is said to us, the nejalego, that means to be the ne, hatatin holondo. And that particular phrase that is understood to say that you have tadatin in yourself. And you also can collect tadatin from the corn tassel. And to have that available to you, you carry around in a pouch. And there are a lot of teachings in that that are concerning the corn pollen, tadatin. This is the third world. And in the third world, it is the yellow world. And we've kind of tried to explain it in the past teachings that we've shared with everyone. This is the yellow world. And the sun, that sometimes we view it as yellow. But the teachings of the yellow world is that the whole world is actually covered with yellow pollen, that there is not anything that is in the atmosphere that does not contain tadatin or pollen. And pollen is the very foundation of all life. Without pollen, there would be no life. So it is that plants have pollen, insects have pollen, animals have pollen, birds have pollen. And even the humankind, we produce our own pollen, and that makes life possible for all things. So all life comes from pollen. So the teachings of our people is that this life is that we regard it as tadatin be'etin, which means this road that we journey on the Beauty Way path. And that Beauty Way path is the line that is considered the main line. Right down the center is like the center line of a highway where you have the dashes of the markings. And the tadatin is what we have to use. And tadatin is very much symbolic of the idea that we have to be prayerful. We have to have a prayer constantly. And be aware that this is the third world where we are entirely covered by pollen. So when you think about it, everything in the atmosphere, there are particles of pollen. And sometimes I think in the various seasons of the years, some plants and that give off more pollen, and people have an allergy problem with pollen. But the teaching is that in the atmosphere, everything, it contains pollen from all types of vegetation in the world. And it is also that as it settles on the ground is covered with pollen. And the pollen covers the bodies of water in this world. And so pollen is everywhere, but it is many times invisible to us. And so when we use the pollen as a prayer offering, the pollen that we use comes from corn or maize, and you collect it and during the time when it has an amount of pollen on a tassel on the corn plant, and you shake it into a bowl or a container, and you collect it. And I have my own corn pollen pouch, and I've always carried this with me to my life because it is said, the Nechalingo Hatadatin Holondo, it is that you must have this as your prayer offering. Prayer being the main thing. It is that we are told that prayer is our umbilical cord, like to the holy people. That is the line of communication. That is what we establish our relationship with the holy people, is by prayer and by being willing to always offer up our prayers to them in gratitude and requesting for guidance and protection. And the umbilical cord is that of prayer to the holy people. And so whenever you offer up a prayer, you take a pinch of the tadatin, and usually when I have my tadatin, I have it wrapped a certain way. Incidentally, this is about the, I don't know how many containers of tadatin I've had in my life, but there have been many. And it is that the tadatin, I have inside of this tadatin pouch, I carry a small crystal with me that's inside here. And I'll try to get that out of there. And there's the crystal. And then, of course, the crystal has got tadatin all over it. And I don't know if you can see that, but it is yellow pieces of the yellow pollen. And maybe you can even kind of take a little look down inside. I don't know if you can even see it, but you don't have to have a whole bunch of it. But it is all there. And you can see the tadatin on the surface of the crystal that I have in my tadatin pouch. And that's the way that I carry the tadatin. But again, tadatin is very important, and it is the basics of life. And there's other teachings on that, and the teachings about tadatin and how it is actually a prayer offering. You use it in the morning prayer, the first prayer of the day, or you use it at any time that you make a prayer of some kind. But the teaching of the use of tadatin is that you don't have to use tadatin, I don't think, in offering up a prayer every time. But you take a pinch of this tadatin out of the pouch, and you put a little bit of it on top of where your spiral is on the top of your head. And then, of course, you put some on your tongue, and then sprinkle a little bit of it as your offering to the direction east. And then you offer up your prayer. And most prayers, when you end and conclude your prayer, you always say the word Hojunahastli, 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 to repeat 4 times. A lot of times they have different translation of the word, but to me it means all is well, all is well. And we repeat that 4 times. And that is to say that my life is going well. It is that I have joy. It is that I have happiness. It is that I have confidence. It is that I have peace. And it is that I am making my effort to journey the Corn Pollen path, or the Beauty Way path, and to travel the Corn Pollen road. Sometimes our own people, the younger ones especially, have never received the instruction that all life comes from tadatin, and tadatin is considered very sacred, and how it is used, especially as a being, as a 5-fingered being, as one of the children of the holy people. You have tadatin. Always be careful as to how you recognize tadatin from yourself. And those are the things that we are told.
Hey, thanks for watching our videos. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss one of our uploads. Also, head over to our website, NavajoTraditionalTeachings.com. Sign up for our email list. Okay.